today's session. This is Sweta Roy, your English master teacher at Vedantu, and today we are going to talk about two very important topics. Welcome to Sprint Text Term 2, guys. The topic that we are going to deal with today is Amanda and reported speech. These are the two very important topics. One is from your literature, a poem, and the second one is grammar, right? I hope you guys are super excited and super prepared. I hope you have already visited the previous video in which I have explained the poem line to line, and I have already analyzed the entire poem. Along with that, you must have visited the video on reported speech where I have talked about the rules, and we have also practiced several sentences, sentence transformation from direct to indirect and vice versa. So if you have missed that, guys, please, I would request you to please go through the video first and then come to Sprint Text Term 2 revision series. All right. So with that, guys, let's get started with the flow of the session for today. We will be starting with 1 mark questions. We will be proceeding with 2 marks and 4 marks question as well. And I want everyone to be very active in the session, and please mark your respond to the questions in the chat. Would you be able to do that? Yes? Okay. So let's get started, but before getting started, do give me a big fat thumbs up and do not forget to share this video amongst your friends. Let's get started with a very positive note, a very positive quote stating, ask yourself if what you are doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow, which means everything should be planned towards your future goal. That is very important. So whenever you do something, please be very clear about the purpose. So focus on your goal and strategize your tasks accordingly. This is very important, guys, not just for this particular exam that you're going to face very soon, but throughout your life, right? Do you agree with me on this? If yes, do not forget to give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, so this is going to be the schedule for today. We are going to have Amanda and reported speech in the previous session. On 25th of March, we already had the proposal and determiners. I hope you went through the video. And we will continue till 30th of March with Bholi and factual passage. We would be ending our Sprint Text series, right? By now, I'm sure you're thorough with all the subjects, all the schedules of all the subjects. So this is for physics, mathematics, bio, chemistry, and SST. Okay, so in case you have missed any of that, please take a screenshot, hit the like button. Do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you receive the notifications on time. And with that, let's get started with reported speech. And here you go with your first question. He said, I will do it now. You have to change this into indirect speech. Please try and recall the rules of indirect and direct speech, and then transform the sentence accordingly. Have you done that, guys? You should not take much time. Okay, let's see the answer. He said that he would do it then. Now, what are the changes that you are making over here? Rule number 1, you have to remove the quotation mark. You have done that, right? You have to add the conjunction that, okay, but that is again optional, but here it suits the sentence, so therefore we are adding. I will be changed to he, will be changed to would, okay, do it then, now would be changed to then. All right, so these are the changes that we will make according to the rules. This is will should be changed to would. We have already done that rule. And will or shall, both will be changed to would. Please remember. Okay. Now will be changed to then. This also we have done. So I hope you've got this correct. Majority of the students have got this correct, right? Let's get to the next question. She said, where is your father? Okay. Now, this is an interrogative statement. The previous one was an assertive sentence. This is an interrogative sentence, right? So, if you remember the rules for the interrogative sentences, please recollect and then Give me your answers in the chat. The answer would be she inquired or asked. Asked is, if you have given asked as your answer, that is also correct. Okay. Where his father was. If you can see here, this is simple present. This is what? Simple present. Now, simple present according to the rule would be changed to simple past, right? So that is why we have used was. Okay. So reported speech rules, basic rule says whatever the tense is, it's going to be converted into its corresponding past tense, and that is what we call as back shifting. What is back shifting? When we are changing the tense to its corresponding past, because whenever we report a sentence, we are talking about an event which has already taken place in the past, right? So that is why we follow the back shifting rule. Okay. And in an interrogative sentence, always remember that you change the form from interrogative to assertive. Assertive form, normal positive form, and you do not end with a question mark when you are changing that into indirect speech. These are the rules. Please keep in mind. So that is why where his father was. If you write where was his father, the form remains as interrogative. You have to change the form from interrogative to assertive. If you do not do that, then you get that incorrect. I hope you've understood this. Okay. Next sentence. He said to me, may you live long. Exclamatory sentence. It's a wish. Okay. So what would be the answer? Please respond in the chat. Let's check the answer. He prayed or he wished, whatever, that I might live long. Okay. He said to me, so he prayed that I might. May would be changed to might. Okay. Live long. This is the format. Right. Next is, he said honesty is the best policy. Okay, what do you think would be the answer? Please be careful. The answer is, he said that honesty is the best policy. Please remember, this is a proverbial truth. We are dealing with a proverbial truth here, right? So, in case of proverbial truth, we do not change the tense. That's why is remains as is. We just need to add that, that's it. We remove the quotation marks, comma, we add that, and there you go with your answer. Okay. Now with that, we will move to the next section of our literature, that is Amanda. Okay. So the first question is, Amanda is alone but not lonely in the world she envisions. Envisions, she visualizes. Okay. She imagines. Envision meaning she imagines, right? Now justify the statement with reference to any one image, not anyone, any one image. Okay, there should be a space. She pictures in her mind. Okay. So you know about the imaginative world that she paints in the poem Amanda. So you have to talk about those. Okay. So you can talk about the mermaid. You can also talk about the incident with Rapunzel. Okay, where she does not want to let down her hair. Okay. So Amanda wants to live alone and away from her parents' do's and don'ts, because her parents always nag at her, scold her. Okay, they try to discipline her to a very large extent, so much so that it suffocates her. Okay, she suffers through suffocation because of the parents' do's and don'ts and set of instructions, nagging, constant nagging. So she imagines herself as a mermaid who is drifting happily in the sea. She envisions herself enjoying solitude. Now, why does she want solitude? Because she is suffocated in the world that she lives in with her parents' constant nagging. Okay? Whereas a lonely person feels sad and upset. So obviously, if we are cut off from the rest of the world, we would feel upset and sad. We would feel lonely. But Amanda doesn't feel so. Why? Because she is so frustrated. She feels stifled in the world that she lives in, and where she's scolded, where she's always given a set of instructions, and where she's always nagged. Okay, that is why she wants to get rid of all of this and enjoy solitude. Sometimes we also say we want space. So that space is what Amanda now desires. Why? Because of suffocation, and this happens with a lot of teenagers, right? And that is why it is said that she wants to live alone and not lonely. So there is a difference between living alone and living in, a feeling lonely. Lonely is something which is negative, but sometimes we do enjoy our company, our own company. So we do say, just give me space, let me be myself, let me be on myself, leave me alone. So that is something which has a positive connotation, right? Okay, next is Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel, yet would not like to do what all she did. So if you remember the story of Rapunzel, I did tell you the story, I did narrate to you the story of Rapunzel, and I'm sure you all know the fairy tale of Rapunzel, how she had the beautiful golden hair which she used to let down, and the prince used to climb, and as a result of which she was punished by the witch, okay, who had kept her captured. So that is something which she does not want, okay. So what did Rapunzel do? She let down her hair. But Amanda would not like to let down her hair. She would like to be like Rapunzel only because of the solitude, that she desires the solitude. Okay, but would not like to undergo the same fate that Rapunzel did. So identify and state the reasons for her decision. What do you think? Why does she say this? What were the reasons of her decision? First of all, Amanda says that in the story, Rapunzel lets down her hair, as I told you, to escape with the prince. But Amanda does not want to escape to the world where Rapunzel did. She wants to escape from that world, right? So she's fascinated with the life in Tar, with Rapunzel's life in the Tar, because her desire is solitude. And this solitude that Rapunzel had in that tower fascinated her. Okay. She does not want to escape and leave such a peaceful atmosphere with no instructions and no work to do. So this is the reason why she does not want to let down her hair, because she does not want to escape from that isolation. She wants to go to that isolated sphere, right? Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed so far, and I hope the answers are pretty clear to you, and you would be able to frame your answers given the points that we are discussing right now. If you want to get yourselves enrolled with us, do not forget to click on the link in the description box. We have 3 types of plans, guys: Light, Classic, and Plus. All the details you will get the moment you click on the link and use the coupon code SWREPRO1. This is the coupon code. Please do not forget to use that and get yourselves enrolled quickly. And now we'll move to the 4-mark questions with Amanda. The last 2 questions, value-based questions. Here is the first one. Read the quote given carefully. What is the quote? Let us read it. All grown-ups were once children, but only a few of them remember it. Now, based on the understanding of the poem, explain how and why this quote can be applied. So, first of all, we need to understand what is the quote trying to tell us. Then we need to understand, of course, we've understood the poem already. We need to relate the quote to the poem, right? So, the quote says, all grown-ups were once children, but a few of them remember it. So, the adults, all of them, we were all children, but how many of us remember our childhood? So for that, the childhood should be memorable. Only then we would be able to remember that, right? So bringing up teenagers is truly challenging and fun. Amanda, please note, was a teenager. How do we know that? She started developing acne, right? If you remember, she was prohibited to eat chocolates because that was going to make her skin worse. So acne, development of acne is a physical feature associated with adolescence, right? Teens can be rebellious. Amanda was also rebellious, but she was silently rebellious. Okay, and apparently not heeded with a highly independent perspective. So Amanda also wanted to be independent of her parents. In such a circumstances, yelling at them which her parents were doing, nagging at them, as done in the poem, will make matters worse. Forcing decisions on them will make them detached, as we see in Amanda. She was detached from the world that she was living in. She also, it's hopelessly depressing, the fact that she wanted to be an orphan, right? So just understand the extent to which she was suffocated. Okay, so as we see in Amanda's case, where she wishes to be alone, she wishes to be a mermaid, an orphan, or the lonely Rapunzel. Amanda's condition can be witnessed by every child. When we are told, we are given a long set of instructions, and when we feel targeted. And especially since this is dealing with Amanda, a girl who is in her transition from childhood to adulthood. That's the phase of adolescence, right? It's a transitional phase. And that too, given that she was a girl, girls come with lot more terms and conditions, right? They have to deal with a lot of terms, more than the boys, right? So this is not just talking about teenagers, this is talking about the growing up of a teenager girl and how difficult it is for the family as well as for the girl who is raised in such a stereotypical patriarchal mindset and society, right? So they feel targeted. They compare their own life with the grown-ups around. And this is common for boys and girls both. I'm sure all of you can relate to it, right? Be their own parents, teachers, or kinds. So they want to be independent. I'm sure all of you also do want the same. They feel like shutting off their mind from the outside world. I'm sure at times you also do feel the same, right? But they should always remember that whatever the parents or the teachers are doing or telling are for their good. They never want our bad, right? Grown-ups, on the other hand, so there's a gap. There comes a gap when teenage children start growing up. I mean, when children reach their teenage life or adolescent life, a gap develops between the parents and the child. That is the generation gap. We need to fill that gap. How would we be able to fill the gap? If the teenagers understand that the parents, the elderly people are saying that for their good, and also the grown-ups, the instructors who are instructing them can give them a little bit of space, befriend the children and not constantly nag at them, then the gap could be bridged. The habits inculcated in the children by their parents will help them in the adult life. That is also true. But the habit should be inculcated in a friendly and positive manner, not by constant nagging and scolding. Right? So that is something that's a major takeaway from this particular poem. The last question that we have is, Colin Wilson, an English author, said, your imagination should be used not to escape reality, but to create it. Very important line. We all have our set of imagination, but what do we do with that? Do we try to escape the reality? Does our imagination take us away from reality, or do we create another reality? So that is what Colin Wilson said, that our imagination should be to create that reality rather than escape from that. So compare or contrast Wanda and Amanda in the light of the author's opinion. Okay, let's have a look at the points that we can incorporate here. So here textual comparison, then cross-referring to the other text. These kind of questions can be expected in our term 2 examination. Please remember that. It is evident from the poem that Amanda, the girl, is fed up with constant nagging. Okay, she is feeling suffocated, stifled. She wants to avoid the reality that she is in by getting rid of the real world and making an escape into the imaginary world of mermaids, fairy tales, right? On the contrary, what does Petronsky face? Wanda Petronsky faced discrimination. And she used her reality, she used her imagination, which was in the form of her art, not to escape the reality, but to create it. She won everyone's heart when she displayed her talent. Her peers ridiculed her unusual name and shabby dress, but with the power of imagination, she not just won the drawing competition, but also the children's appreciation. So we should definitely try to understand from these two references that we cannot escape our reality. We have to face, reshape it, create it. We can use our imagination, our strength of mind to reshape the reality rather than escaping it. We have to live in the real world, not an imaginary world of fairy tales and mermaids, right? So that's all for today's session. I hope you did enjoy the session, and I hope now you will be able to frame your answers from Amanda, and I hope you will be able to apply the rules of reported speech in the upcoming questions that you have in your exams. So all the best, guys. We have already completed 1 mark question, 2 mark questions, as well as 4 mark questions, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you very soon in the next session. And okay, before I go, I forgot to give you the homework. This is the homework question. Escapism is one way to run away from harsh realities. You have to discuss this from the in the context of the poem. Please do not forget to mention this in the comment section. All right. So with that, I would take a leave. Thank you so much. Do not forget to watch the next session on animals, which is going to be premiered on 26th of March at 7 p.m. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.